Nick Garratt is the Director of Sales and Operations at ercol Furniture, based in Buckinghamshire. The firm is a furniture maker with 160 employees. Morning, Nick.
Good morning, Mickey.
So where do you stand? Are we coming out of recession, or are you still finding the going difficult?
Well, we've had a very tough 18 months, really, as a sector. The furniture trade, I think, has suffered probably as much, and if not more than most. It's typically big-ticket discretionary spend, so if consumers are finding things tight, then it's something that's easy to hold off purchasing. Having said that, from our perspective, the first half this year in particular, we've seen some encouraging signs, really, and things have improved, there's no doubt about that.
Because you're at the top end of the market, aren't you? I mean, your stuff is handmade, it's quality materials. How's the downturn affected you in that respect? You know, are people with money willing to spend on your goods, or are you the first casualty?
I think it's changed over the period, really. In the first half of last year, we were definitely cushioned to some extent because most of the bad news last year was around credit crunch, and most of our purchasers wouldn't be relying on credit to make their purchase. Second half of the year was a very different story, really. It was very much on the back of the financial meltdown, and quite a significant step was the collapse of the Lehman Brothers Bank, and we saw a big downturn at that point. Having said that, you're absolutely right. The consumers that we're dealing with are more likely to have money available to spend. It's really about giving them good reason to buy, really, and making sure that we've got something to offer that really is attractive and encourages them to buy now.
Do you agree no one could have seen this recession coming?
I think there were signs, long before it was in the public eye, there were signs of it. I think the very fact that the country was getting into so much debt, both from a government and a personal consumer point of view, were obvious signs that things were going wrong. It just took a long time, really, before that sort of came through in terms of consumer spend. So, no, I think there were signs of it long before it became in the public eye.
Obviously, your business is quite dependent on the housing market. I don't know what you think is required to get the housing market feeling confident again. Is it prices coming down? Because interest rates have got as low as they can.
I think that is probably our biggest issue, really, at the moment, is consumer confidence. And people who have money to spend seem very reluctant to spend it, really, and that's partly because of all the bad news in the press and the media. And I think it's important that if things are picking up and there are green shoots, then people need to sort of speak more about it and make sure we take a more optimistic view of things. As you say, there's no doubt with sort of interest rates where they are, things are pretty good for people looking to buy or move house, but equally the headline interest rate is what's published. The availability of mortgages is still very difficult, and we're hearing sort of young purchasers in particular find it very, very difficult with sizable deposits now required to get onto the housing ladder.
OK, Nick, well, all the best for the future. That was Nick Garratt from the furniture makers ercol.